Hey there, my friend. Welcome to episode 2 of this season of the Dinner Made Easy show. Every Thursday, I am live from my kitchen, sometimes in the morning, like today, sometimes in the afternoon, depending on what we're making. But today is a slow cooker meal, which is why I'm here in the morning. I'm also going to give you the Instant Pot version of how to make this meal, so stick around. If you're catching the replay, slide it forward about 30 seconds. I like to say hello to those who are with me live. And today we're making Carne Asada Tacos. They are so delicious and really very simple to prepare. These also are a great make-ahead meal. If you want to put this into the freezer, that is an option as well. And I will drop the recipe links, both the slow cooker version and the Instant Pot version and the freezer-friendly version here on to the video when I am finished up. So, Carne asada is a wonderful, flavorful meat, and the reason is because it is going to cook the day away, or if you're cooking in the Instant Pot, it is going to pressure cook with this delicious, acidic marinade sauce. I'm not sure what exactly to call it, but it is so fantastic, so full of flavors. And the reason that this meat ends up being so fantastic is, one, because the way it cooks, and two, because it cooks in this really acidic soft sauce, it really softens up the meat, and you get this beautiful shreddable meat that you can then load into a taco. If you're eating low carb, you can load it over a pile of like cauliflower rice. If you're eating gluten-free, you can load it over a pile of brown rice or white rice. If you love street tacos, add it into corn tortillas. And if you're like my children, just roll it up in a flour tortilla and just like devour. So let's get started making this one. Lots of flexibility here, but I'm going to show you the core recipe, the recipe that can be made ahead, and the recipe that can then become any of those things that I just mentioned. It's just a great, we love shredded meat around here. I don't know about you guys. I love it because it's so easy. I think that's why it's like my default. It's like, just throw something in the slow cooker and shred it at the end of the day. It's so easy and so delicious. So let's get to it. I have already loaded up my slow cooker with a flank steak. That's what we're working with here. If your store doesn't have a flank steak for some reason, grab a skirt steak. That would be my next best choice for you here. If you had to use a chuck roast, that will work as well. You might want to slice it so it's thinner, so that more of the meat is sitting in the sauce as it cooks the day away. But flank steak is my favorite for this particular type of taco. So just make sure it's nice and flat. If you need to cut it, you're going to want to cut it across the grain. It'll be easier to cut that way, and then you can kind of position it. But this one's fairly flat in my 6-quart slow cooker. So next what I'm going to do is mix up this sauce, and it's super delicious. I'm going to read it out to you, and then I'm going to mix it up. So 2-ish pounds flank steak goes into the base of the slow cooker. We're going to salt and pepper that just a little bit. Get that right on the meat. And then we're going to mix up a sauce. You could probably just like dump and go, where you just dump all this together, but I am going to mix it in the bowl for the sake of mixing it in the bowl and just showing you and doing all the things. And so we're going to start with a 1/2 cup of OJ, a 1/4 cup of lime juice, which I'm going to substitute lemon juice because I thought I had lime juice and I don't, so I'm just going to use lemon. It's fine. It's that acidic kind of lemon-lime tropical flavor that we're going after. A 1/4 cup of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of white vinegar, and 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. And I will show you, I am on the tail end of this minced garlic jar, so I'm going to use a little bit of minced garlic and a little bit of garlic powder to get that garlic, because, well, I just love garlic, and there can never be too much garlic in something like this. Well, maybe too much, but you know, you get it. So there's the OJ, and then we're going to do lemon/lime, 1/4 cup. And then we're going to do olive oil, another 1/4 cup, just to give that sauce a little depth. You could use another oil if you wanted. A canola would be good, or vegetable oil if that's what you have. You guys, thanks for the likes and the love and for sharing this one. Let me know if you're making this on your next Taco Tuesday. That's what I want to know. Because we're having Taco Thursday today, but we might make this again for Taco Tuesday. We'll see. Here's your idea for Taco Tuesday. All right, 2 tablespoons of white vinegar. And the garlic that I'm going to have to give it, like legit, like look, there's like barely any hanging in this jar. Like we're going to be scraping here. So I apologize for the scraping noise that is about to ensue. I will try to keep it quiet. All right, that's it. That's what I see. And you guys, I, for some reason, cannot see your comments. I'm really sorry. I will answer any questions that we see. Oh, we're going to add some fresh cilantro. That's why this guy's sitting here. I'm going to answer your questions probably afterwards. I'm really sorry. I might be able to see if I can pull them up on my phone. Okay, so I've done the Dinner Made Easy show a number of times, and if you haven't heard this yet, here's why I'm doing it on Thursdays now. I'm doing it on Thursdays because Thursdays are just hard. They're hard for me to cook. It's like I've been through this intense week. It's Thursday. I'm so much more tempted. I don't know what it is about Thursday. I think it's just like we're almost to the weekend, but we're not there yet. I just really have personally struggled with Thursdays in the last, I don't know, probably year and a half. Just with being busy and so many things happening. And we also have like 3 hours of practices on Thursday nights right now. So I'm really glad to be doing this because it's holding me accountable. And if you have a night like that, I would highly recommend making that just like a regular, like all the time slow cooker day or all the time Instant Pot day. Another example of that is we've had an appointment on Mondays for like 2 years. Monday from 5 to 6 o'clock in the medical center here in town. So I'd have to drive across town. Yeah, I totally wiped out that jar. I'm going to add a tiny bit more garlic powder. And so I wasn't home to prep anything on Mondays, or I'm still not home Monday afternoon. So Mondays and Thursdays have kind of become my default slow cooker day. Just giving that a little extra touch of garlic because I don't think that was quite enough out of what I had left there. So let me whisk this up, and then I'm going to run my knife through that cilantro real quick and add it in there as well. Give that extra little flavor. I probably won't use this whole bunch, but some of it. Let me get this out of the way. All right. So what night is like the most troublesome for you? Do you have like a troublesome night? So that's why I'm doing these on Thursdays now. I did them on Wednesdays for a real long time, but I think Thursdays is going to be better for me. And hopefully for you. It gives you some inspiration as you go into the weekend. You can look at your meal plan for next week and figure out what you're going to have. I could pizza wheel this too. You get your pizza wheel if you're not super confident with your knife and running your knife through something like this. You could just get a pizza wheel and like, here, I'll show you. How about I just show you? Where is my pizza wheel? I should have grabbed that. I should have thought of that. So you can just like do this number. If you have a child old enough to do this, this is kind of a fun little activity for a kid. Can you guys see that at the top there? I'm sorry, it's kind of over here. Fun little activity for a kiddo who wants to help out in the kitchen, right? And then you can just kind of dust it off. Be careful. Okay, so I'm going to add that in as well. It's a fun little tip for you. All right, let me get this mixed up. I'm not going to go after every little bit for the sake of time. Okay, so this is going to go right over the flank steak in my slow cooker. Let me slide. Hang tight with me for a sec. Let me slide so you can see better. Is that better? Sweet. All right, and then we're just going to pour this right on the top. If you want, this is pretty well underwater, if you will. If you want that flank steak, the flank steak's not going to release a ton of liquid. It'll release some, but not a ton. But if you want that to be completely covered, I would just mix in a little bit of beef stock. You don't have to, but if you want to, do that. Okay. And then I'm going to make sure this is as well covered and as possible. Doesn't that look fabulous? It's going to be so delicious. All right, now Instant Pot version. You want to know the Instant Pot version of this? It's pretty similar. Before I tell you that, though, let's talk about the freezer-friendly version of this. If you want to make this for the freezer, all you're going to do is place, I'll show you, I'm getting it ready, is place the flank steak just like you, as flat as can be. There sometimes can be a little bit awkward, it depends on the size of the baggie. If you're going to do the freezer-friendly version, so what you're going to do is you're going to put the flank steak like as flat into the baggie as you possibly can. This is one of our bag holders that holds the bags open. So you put it as flat as you can, like in over here like this. And then you mix up the same exact sauce like I just did. You drop it into, you pour the sauce over the flank steak in here. So basically what you see sitting right here will be in the baggie. Seal it up, remove as much air as you can, seal it up, and then I flat freeze everything. So flat freeze into your freezer. And then when you want to go to slow cook it, you can take it from the baggie, loosen it up a little bit, let it thaw in the fridge for a little bit, or you can put it in a bowl of water, let it thaw a few minutes, and then you can put it in here frozen like this. As long as you're going to cook anything you've frozen in the slow cooker for at least 8 hours, it can go in completely frozen. So this would be just like the frozen sauce and the frozen meat all together, put in there just like this. And then you turn your slow cooker on for at least 8 hours, and then you'll come back and you'll have this delicious meat that you can then shred. So when this is finished at the end, I usually just take, usually you can just do, it's so tender, usually you can just take 2 forks, you could use tongs, whatever you want to do to just shred that up, and then I will strain off the sauce. There will be quite a bit of sauce in there, and I will strain it off. This isn't one that makes sense to thicken the sauce like a gravy. That doesn't really make sense with this type of recipe. What we're really after is that full flavorful meat. And so we're going to get that after it slow cooks the day away. And then you can, again, like I said at the top, put it into corn tortillas, flour tortillas. You can make a giant burrito with some different like toppings slash things to put inside. You could do it over cauliflower rice if you're low carb or keto. You could do it over brown rice or white rice if you're just doing like a gluten-free thing. So this is very adaptable, but this core really simple protein is really versatile, and that's why we love it. So that's the slow cooker and freezer-friendly version. If you're going to make this in the Instant Pot, there's actually 2 ways you could do it in the Instant Pot. Well, 3 really. You could do it just like we did here and use the slow cook function on your Instant Pot. So that would be the one way, the similar to the slow cooker way. The other way would be to do it just like this. You're going to do manual high pressure for anywhere between 7 and 12 minutes. And it's going to depend on how thick the meat is and if you have had to like stack the meat. A 6-quart slow cooker is, or a 6-quart Instant Pot is going to be about like this. So it's smaller. You probably can't see that. Let me show you. Oh, I can't pull it that far. It's going to be like probably cutting off about that much of your slow cooker. So you might have to, in a sense, fold the meat in there. And if that's the case, you're going to want to cook it for a little bit more time since the meat will be thicker, if that makes sense. So there's a little bit of a time range there. You just want to cook it all the way through. But again, have it sitting in as much of that sauce as you can so it gets nice and done. Or gets nice and soft and flavorful. And then the third way you could cook it in the Instant Pot is where you brown, you use the saute mode and you brown as much both sides. You'll probably have to brown a half, flip it over, brown a half. Will only take 1 to 2 minutes, and you just use some tongs to kind of move it around in there and some oil and brown it, and then pour the same sauce we made over it, turn it off, put the lid on, and then pressure cook it for, I would say, again, 7 to 12 minutes, maybe 6 to 11, depending on how the meat fits into that round insert. So that's that. I hope this is helpful. Let me switch back to my other view. I hope that this is helpful and inspirational. Where's my thing there? Okay. I hope that's helpful and inspirational, and it gives you an idea for an easy way to do just a weeknight dinner or something for your next Taco Tuesday night. If you've already got that planned for next week, way to go. If you haven't, add this on there and enjoy it. Again, at the end of the day, once this is done cooking, shred it up. You can serve it over tortillas, corn tortillas, flour tortillas, rice, cauliflower rice, however you want to make it, you can. Also very freezer friendly before you cook the meat, And you could, if you make too much, or if you want to do like a double batch in your slow cooker, you can then freeze it after you've shredded it. Just let it cool down all the way, put it into a bag or container, and then you can add it to the freezer that way. So, yay for Carne Asada Tacos. I hope that you enjoy them, and we will be back next Thursday with, I think, an afternoon episode of the Dinner Made Easy show, and I will see you then.